It began as a day of triumph, a gleaming symbol of Italy's new century. On a quiet summer morning in 1911, one of the most luxurious trains ever built rolled out from the heart of Rome. Aboard it were 100 passengers, aristocrats, engineers, newlyweds, and dreamers, all bound for Lombardy. The air smelled of smoke and promise. The tracks shimmered beneath the sun. But somewhere along its route, the Zanetti Express entered a mountain. And never came out. No wreckage. No footprints. No goodbye. Some say it was swallowed by the earth. Others, that it crossed into another world. Tonight, we follow the trail of the train that never arrived. Rome, July 14, 1911. The city was alive with optimism. The Industrial Revolution had touched Italy with progress and pride. On the platform of the central station stood a marvel of engineering, a 3-car luxury locomotive built by the Zanetti Company, fitted with polished oak interiors, brass fixtures, and velvet seating. Its name was whispered with admiration, the Zanetti Express. For the passengers, this journey was more than a trip. It was a statement of faith in the modern world. Among them, a journalist named Giovanni Moretti, scribbling excited notes for an article titled "The Future of Italian Rail." A young bride, Elena Bianchi, carrying her wedding bouquet, her husband laughing beside her, dreaming of their honeymoon in Lombardy. An engineer, Luca Ferraro, who'd helped build the very tunnel they'd pass through. And a priest, Father Romano, returning home after years in Rome, his small leather Bible pressed tightly to his chest. At 11:45 a.m., the whistle blew. Steam filled the air. And as the wheels turned, the train carried a century's worth of hope into the Italian countryside. No one on that platform could know. They were waving goodbye to the world as they knew it. The landscape changed as they approached Lombardy. Rolling hills gave way to valleys, and valleys to mountains. By mid-afternoon, clouds gathered. The air grew heavy. At 4 p.m., the train neared the San Giuseppe tunnel, a newly opened passage cutting straight through the limestone heart of the mountains. Villagers in the valley below saw the gleaming locomotive approach, steam hissing, whistle echoing through the cliffs. They watched it enter the tunnel. 1 minute passed. Then 2. Then 5. The far end remained empty. No sound of wheels. No sign of smoke. The signalman at the other end waited. He checked his pocket watch. 4:15. He looked down the tracks. Nothing. Hours later, engineers entered the tunnel on foot, lanterns trembling in their hands. But there was nothing inside. No debris. No broken rails. No burn marks. Just silence, and the smell of iron and damp stone. The Zanetti Express had vanished. The disappearance spread through Italy like wildfire. Newspapers printed front-page headlines. 100 passengers vanish in Lombardy tunnel. Mystery of the missing train baffles engineers. The government dispatched rescue teams, convinced there had been a collapse. But the miners who dug into the mountain found no wreck, no buried carriages, only solid rock. Then came the whispers that the Zanetti Company had built the tunnel on unstable ground. Critics accused them of negligence. Others accused the government of hiding the truth to prevent panic. Within a month, the tunnel was sealed. Officially, the incident was a tragic engineering failure. Unofficially, the records were erased. The families of the lost received nothing but silence. But the silence could not bury the rumors. Some claimed they still heard the whistle at night. Others said they saw ghostly lights moving through the hills. And in the villages of Lombardy, children grew up fearing one thing: the mountain that eats trains. Decades passed. The world moved on. But in 1937, a farmer in Ukraine reported something strange. An old locomotive drifting silently through the mist, its paint faded, its windows glowing dimly. He said he saw faces pressed against the glass. Pale faces, mouthing words he didn't understand. Italian words. In Mexico, 1953, monks at a remote monastery swore they saw a ghostly train glide across their field one night. They heard no sound. They saw no smoke. And then, it vanished. Witnesses drew the same logo, Zanetti Company, 1911. Scientists dismissed the accounts as delusions, tricks of fog and memory. But what if these weren't sightings from beyond the grave, but echoes across time itself? A small psychiatric hospital received 104 men wandering in confusion near a rural town. They were dressed in early 1900s suits. Their watches had all stopped at 4:15 p.m. They spoke fluent Italian. And every one of them insisted they'd just been on a train bound for Lombardy. Doctors thought they were war refugees. But when officials ran background checks, nothing. No birth records. No fingerprints. No missing persons that matched. Within 2 days, the men were transferred to higher authorities. Their case files were sealed and later destroyed. Only one document survived, a nurse's diary entry. It read, "They keep asking about the tunnel. And the light. They say the light wouldn't end." Could these have been the lost passengers of the Zanetti Express? Returned 40 years later, unchanged by time? To understand the impossible, scientists began to dig into forgotten reports. The San Giuseppe tunnel, it turned out, was built directly above a massive vein of magnetite, a mineral known for strong magnetic fields. Combine that with the high electrical current running through the new overhead lines, and it's possible, however unlikely, that the train passed through a sudden magnetic anomaly. A disturbance in space-time itself. Some physicists suggest that under such rare conditions, energy could bend space, folding 2 moments in time together. For the people inside, seconds might stretch into decades, or collapse into nothing. But others have their own theories. Ancient legends from Lombardy speak of a mountain gate, a place where the living could pass into the realm of spirits. Perhaps, they say, the Zanetti Express never broke the laws of physics, but simply took the wrong path through the veil. The San Giuseppe tunnel still exists, though its entrance is hidden behind decades of overgrowth and rot. Adventurers can dare to take this wrong. Cold air seeps from the cracks. The walls hum faintly, and deep inside, you can hear something metallic, like the creak of wheels on distant rails. In 2001, an Italian filmmaker attempted to document the tunnel. His footage ends abruptly, his camera still running, showing a burst of white light before cutting to black. He was never found. Today, locals still leave flowers near the old railway posts. And at night, some say they see the outline of a train shimmering beneath the moonlight. Windows glowing faintly, moving without sound, across the valley where no tracks remain. Time forgets many things, but not everything wants to be forgotten. Maybe somewhere, the Zanetti Express is still traveling, locked between moments, suspended between worlds. Maybe its passengers still look out their windows, waiting for a tunnel that never ends. And perhaps, when the wind is right, you can still hear its whistle in the distance, reminding us that not every journey reaches its destination. My friend, if this story moved you, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and share this mystery with someone who loves exploring the unknown. Because sometimes, the past still travels beside us. Until next time, stay curious.